everyone, welcome to another brand new episode of Inspire Me. Today we are with two inspiring ladies here at the NCC in Colombo, and today's conversation is going to be about the Rainbow Splashers, an exciting project initiated by Harshinie Jayakody, who's right next to me, and her sister Methma Jayawardane. So without further ado, let's get started and see how they have started the Rainbow Splashers project, what it is all about. So let's talk about how you started this concept, what Rainbow Splashers is all about. How did this idea cross your mind, and how did you get all these facilities, infrastructure organized?
Okay, so how I started was, initially after I left school, I studied fashion designing, but I really didn't like that job. Then I moved to Australia for a few years. While I was there, I had my daughter, and then I took her for swimming one day. So then I saw these classes happening in the pool, and then it was quite interesting because it was the parent-toddler classes. I was actually sad that I couldn't take my small one for those classes, but then it was quite interesting, and I spoke to one of the coaches there, and I asked, how you can become a coach who can, teach babies. Then she said that, look, it's a course that you need to do, and then you need to do a bit of training, and then you're good to go. So then I researched on it, and then I got my OSWIM license, which is the basic one as a water safety course, and then I specialized in the infant and preschool course. Did work there to get my training, and then after I came down, I spoke to Julian, and then started off over here. Started very small, with small crowd. Didn't do any promotion or whatnot, because I just wanted to see how things were over here, because it's something new over here. And then I had about 6 kids initially. Didn't go to promote or anything like that. And then mainly through word of mouth, because there's a lot of crowd which comes here for a learn to swim program, and then through them it kind of the word spread, and then eventually grew the entire thing. Yeah.
Okay. What's the client base now? I mean, how many kids have you got now?
So the age category I generally take is from 6 months to 3 years. So once they turn 3, they go to learn to swim. So I get a new batch every time. Once they turn 3 and then goes, I get that slot vacant. So then I enroll new ones. So we do about roughly about 12, 13, 14 sessions per week.
6 to 8 per session.
Yeah, so per session we have about 6 to 8 kids with parents.
13 sessions per week.
Yeah, yes, yeah, something like that.
13 sessions per week, that's a lot of work. So they have contributed their time for Inspire Me amidst that busy schedule. Fortunately, we are in a pandemic. I think that has permitted you all with a lot of time. All right, so the next question is about the risk factor that's involved in what Rainbow Splashers does. So it's an aquatic sport, and when it comes to Sri Lanka or Asian countries, the parents are more intimidated, I guess, than the kids when it comes to a risky sport. So you must have encountered a lot of challenges in gaining the parents' confidence and assuring to parents that the kids will be in safe hands when they are in the pool. Because this is a new concept to Sri Lanka, as I think. So let's talk about how you maneuvered that challenge and assured the parents and gained their confidence.
So as I said, initially I had about 6 to 8 kids. So what I did was I experimented with them, and I got the feedback from those parents first. Then see, when someone sees a class, then they get an idea of how I manage the class, how I conduct the class. So they get a bit of confidence by watching the class. Then obviously, the inquiries, I started getting in, and then I had to do a lot of explanation. So I had to basically explain them, these are the advantages. It's more like a water awareness class. So it's just getting the baby used to the water, the environment, and getting their cognitive skills improved and their social skills improved. So lot of explanation, and which I think the young parents understood. I guess the hard part was, I think, for the young parents to convince their parents, the grandparents, because obviously Sri Lanka, we have a very close, connection with the grandparents. So especially with the grandkids, grandparents get really, really attached. So even now when they come for a session, it's like a family outing for them. The grandparents love to watch that, baby swim and doing those activities, whatnot. So those are the initial, challenges that I had. So a lot of explanation. So now they've got the confidence because, it's again then word of mouth, parents talk, they have their mom's group and, whatnot. So I think I've built that confidence with the parents. What else? I think we are more friendly, and I think most babies love us. And then I think we also get close to them throughout the years because they are with us. Like a baby who starts from 6 months until 3, they are almost with us for 2.5 years. So we also get really attached to them. And then when they move to the learn to swim, we see them, all growing up. So basically from crawling days to walking days, we see the progress. So, and we are like the initial teachers for them. So I think it's our duty also to give that confidence to the parents and, give those,
remove the fear factor.
Yes. And then as initial teachers, we are like the role models for them. So I think it's our responsibility also to, give that foundation for the baby. Yeah.
So this was actually an unplanned question. So talking about the risk and removing that fear from the parents' minds and the grandparents' minds, how important is a sport for a child, and how important is it for them to learn it from the outset? I'm just sharing, this is nothing about entrepreneurship or anything, but I'm sure that this will communicate a good message to everyone out there, to new parents, to parents with toddlers, all of them. How important is it for a kid?
See, the thing is, when I was young actually, my main thing to do sport was to meet up with friends. And, you learn so many things like sharing, caring, and especially like when you do a team sport, because you meet a lot of, personalities, different personalities, and in a team you have one goal, and then you work towards that goal. So you learn a lot of, you have to compromise, and you have to acknowledge certain things, and you have to work together as a team. So I think for young kids, I think that is what you gain, and you gain that confidence. Certain fear factors that you have in life, you can let go of those things, and then you can challenge yourself to do better in life. And then main thing is that you learn to enjoy, you enjoy whatever it is, and then you also learn to take defeat in a positive way. Yeah. It's not about winning all the time. Sometimes it's okay to lose as well, because at the end of the day it's just a sport. So you win some, you lose some. It doesn't mean that you're bad. It's just that other team is better than you.
So it makes you physically and mentally strong as well, and you would know how to tackle with different personalities. Especially for me, doing a sport, it helped me a lot when it comes to the corporate industry, because I get to work with so many different personalities. So it helped me a lot.
Yeah, as a person. Different individuals. Yes. I mean, you learn certain qualities, how you can face
decision making,
whatnot.
Tackling different personalities.
And being punctual, working on time.
Yes. Working on time, and
it builds up your personality, I would say.
And even being strong amidst every environmental changes.
And certain qualities like leadership qualities, so you take responsibility of certain things. So you learn a lot of
I feel that those are the qualities that we will not learn from a classroom by studying a book. So I think it's very important for a kid to get involved in some kind of sport.
So yes, I mean leadership skills to all sorts of life skills, confidence, how to manage different personalities, how to manage different environmental factors, whether it is sunny or not, whether it is raining or not. If you have a competition, I think you have to, there's no way out. You have to face it. So those are the important things that your kid can learn from a very young age by getting involved in a sport. It can be swimming, it can be anything else. So that is a very important lesson, very important message rather that they shared. So speaking of changes in the environment, we are obviously in a very disturbed time, unprecedented times. We never, last year this time we never thought that the 2020 year would be like this. So let's talk about those disturbances. Easter attacks to the current pandemic, how did this affect rainbow splashes? And what's your advice to everyone out there who's doing similar projects or any businesses on their own? How do you think that they should continue in their journey amidst all these disturbances?
Okay, so basically, during Easter attacks, we had a low outcome of the class because, obviously the parents were scared, and then with the curfew being forced, obviously classes had to be on hold, and then came this pandemic. So this year, I think we worked only in January, February, a bit of March, and then again in September. So, we've been on hold because we haven't got the approval from the health authorities to open the pool.
Because why I asked that question was swimming is not something you can teach online.
Yes,
now.
so especially my classes now. Scott, I know they do a lot of online fitness training programs, but then with my baby classes, we can't do much. So this time actually we have focused.
Did you invest yourself in learning something?
Yes.
How did you really?
So there were a lot of webinars. Now I am more connected with OSWIM in Australia. So there were a lot of Zoom webinars, and then so it helped actually me to grow and learn a lot of skills and things that I have basically couldn't do while I was working. And then update our CPR certificate. So we actually invest our time to do more online training, get that online training done for ourselves. So we need to improve. Yeah.
Involved a bit with the senior Scott swimmers. Okay. I was asked to help them out as well. So I was spending time on that also. Meanwhile.
So what you mean to say is that these times are definitely not a reason to take a break and just stop everything what you are doing. Instead you can direct your life into something else.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean you can't put everything on hold just because
because we will know when it will be over.
Yeah.
So we can't be waiting.
So it's better that we learn new things, what's happening around us, and then now for us we use a lot of like toys and whatnot. So then I did my research on those things, like how we can improve our classes, and then obviously it's going to be something new because even when we start classes, it has to be socially distant. So maintain those things and how we need to do those things. Like we have to research and find those things out while we are out of the pool. So because when we start classes, we can't plan those things. So it's better that we plan ahead, and then once we start, it will be like a continuous thing until again something comes up.
Yeah, sure. So, Methma, you were talking about the corporate life because you are juggling a corporate job along with the rainbow splashes. So let's talk about how these disturbing times have affected the corporate side as well, because there are ladies in our audience who's as similar as you. They are doing their corporate jobs, their own ventures. So what do you think? How can a person like you manage things like working from home during this period and doing your venture, managing time? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm working for a destination management company, so we are significantly affected by this whole pandemic. So we are working from home, but we don't have much work coming in at the moment. But we are hoping that after March, beginning of April, we will get back to some kind of normalcy. So until then, it's just, clearing off the mails, just going through the day-to-day work when it comes to the corporate. So I kind of allocate that extra time. As I said earlier, I got involved a bit with the senior squad swimmers with Sir Julian. So I have that extra time allocated for that, and I focus on that. And whenever I get work from office, I make sure to do that as well whenever I'm at home or my phone. I'm always online from my office phone. So since we have all the facilities, I think it was not that difficult for me to cope up, and I have superiors who are very helpful and understanding. They also know that I'm involved with swimming as well, and they also encourage me. So
that's how you manage.
That's how I
how
manage.
the time is managed between
It's
the
very
two tasks.
important to have superiors who are
Do
understanding.
you think it is
as
important for someone to do a corporate job as well while they are doing their own venture or their own effort? Is it really important?
I feel to a certain point, yes, because I actually, as I said before, I was a fashion designer and I worked here for about 2 years.
I think it's always good to have that exposure at least for a little period of
because,
time.
working in a corporate structure it's like, again, you have to manage people. You have to manage people, you have to manage certain projects, and you have to work on time. So you learn those qualities, and then it helps when you start your own thing. It helps, how to manage certain things with your own thing. So it is, I think, important at least to get that bit of experience, so that say, for example, like to accounts, to the things that we don't realize when you're doing your own thing. So you kind of get used to that particular structure, and then it's easy for us to help someone else also, who if we are going to employ someone to the place. It's easy, we know exactly what's happening.
I think we build a lot of contacts by working in a corporate.
Yeah.
Networking is very important, I feel.
Yes. So this is a spicy question. Two girls starting a venture in a male-dominant sport or a male-dominant, I would say, a domain. How challenging is this? How was it challenging at the first place? Because the two of you have been swimmers from your childhood. I'm sure these contacts to this network, to everything has been there from the outset. It's just that you all added a little by little, as you progressed and you have become who you are. So that while that environment was there with you, being two girls, starting a project like this, in a country like Sri Lanka that is very least receptive to concepts like this, how did you really manage that? Did the gender really become a problem?
On the contrary, we were more close to the
kids.
So even though it's a male-dominant, coaching is a male-dominant job, but then the job that we do, especially the babies, I don't think any male can do that, because you need to have those motherly instincts. And especially me being a mother, I know exactly how a baby feels. I know exactly why a baby would cry inside the pool. Sometimes, I know if they are going to throw up or whatever. I know it. So I don't think a male would know unless he's a father. So for us, we didn't feel that it's a male-dominant job. But then I think I feel that a man can't do this job. So even if they try, they can come for training and see how things go. But then I highly doubt. It's about how you tackle. As I said, for a father, you should be able to do it, but
not as emotionally as how you tackle.
Can be mild.
Yeah. So you have to basically know how to read the child. Yeah. So I guess it comes within you. I'm sure there are. In Australia, I've seen a lot of young university boys doing this course. So I guess they like that. They like to hang out with kids. So if you like to hang out with kids, I guess you should be able to do it. But over here, we haven't seen anyone.
Pursuing something like this.
Yeah.
So it has not been a challenge really. Rather, considering your immediate client, which is kids, that itself has become your edge. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess our nature as such, we
can work with men.
Yeah. So we know how to, I guess, handle them, and then yeah, I mean, it's all about being kind and, at the end of it, and understanding and working together as a team. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy and, want this place to be up and running and, so we always cooperate with, all the coaches and they are very helpful. Whenever they, we want to change lanes, they will be like, yeah, you can go. And so we have that understanding. So I guess it's nice.
Yeah. So another unplanned question. Swimming, or sports rather, is very famous and everyone has a lot of attraction towards it here in Colombo and even in suburbs. But is there any initiative planned to take this out of Colombo? Do you think that there will be any reception to this, any acceptance? Do you think that there's any way that the country as a whole can become more inclined to sports? Since you all have represented Sri Lanka in an international arena and all of that?
You mean sport as in swimming or my classes?
Swimming and your classes as well.
So my classes, yeah, I'm sure if I go out of Colombo, there will be a crowd.
Okay.
Because now,
compared to those days, I think there's a big improvement.
Yeah.
It has gone outstation as well.
Okay.
But I feel that there's a long way to go though.
Yeah. Yeah, so as I said, like my classes, I'm sure if I train someone outstation, then yes, there'll be a lot of crowd who will be interested, because now at the moment it's mainly in Colombo that I do, simply because I try to manage time with my daughter's work and everything, so it's hard for me also to do that part, like go out, train someone and then go out of Colombo and do those workshops and whatnot. But hopefully when she's done at school, when I have a bit more time in my hands, maybe I can,
You might have plans for Regit Island White.
Yes, hopefully. So let's see.
Alright, so we were in conversation with Harshinie and Methma, the founders of Rainbow Splashers, the project which they initiated for toddlers, for babies, to get into the waters, to the deep end, get themselves comfortable with a sport like this, which certainly enhances their personality a lot, like they said previously during the conversation. So we are coming towards the end of the conversation, and this last question is nothing about swimming. It's about pursuing your dreams in what you want when it comes to a venture. So as a woman, but as women, what do you think that women have to develop in themselves, the mindset as well as qualities and traits, if they want to start something on their own?
See, when I started this job, I was about 28, so that was after, even after I had my small one. So you're never too late to start something new. That's something which I've learned through this. And then also try to find your passion, because sometimes you can study something but then not exactly like. So I studied fashion design, I didn't like at all. So it will take time to find out what your passion is, but sometimes as parents we can, from younger days, from our kids, we can find what they like. So it's easy now for us to guide our kids. But back then, our parents, they didn't have much options. It's either a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. What else? This is 5 things. Commons.
There
common
are
things,
specific routes in Sri Lanka.
Or engineer. So other than that, we didn't even know what there are other things.
Exactly.
Which was
when we were schooling, we didn't know that these concepts exist.
Exactly.
I think that's how the academics have trained us, no?
Probably.
To think through only a certain amount of lines.
Yes. So I of course tell everyone to try and find your passion, what you really like within you. I love sports, so and I love kids. So this was ideal. I mean, this job was ideal because it helped me to manage my home front, plus do a job which I really like to do, and then find that time to spend with family and friends as well. So it really helped me with this job.
And unlike those days, now people have a lot of avenues now. For an example, even though we were passionate about sports, back then we didn't have a degree or a way of studying sports science. But now in universities, when you check them out, they have
Lot of
sports
options.
science and whatnot. So kids have those options to go to. Whereas during our days, it was all about IT or management or medicine, or only those areas were involved. So I think now it's much more easier to follow your passion and just go for your goals.
Go beyond a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, because not everyone can be a doctor, lawyer, and engineer. You need other options as well. So yeah, and the other thing was what the traits and qualities that we.
Yeah, any qualities when it comes to, after all, this is a business. It has a business model.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of smart thinking, business sort of thinking also inculcated in a project like this.
So at the moment, actually, I have to really thank Julian for initially, helping us out.
He's the one who laid the foundation.
Yeah, laid the
for
foundation
us.
for us. So when I came to him saying that this is the program that I have, because in my head I knew 6 months or 3 years program was not here. So after 3 years they start the learn to swim. So I told him that, look, 6 months to 3 years I can start, and then 3 years onwards your coaches can do the learn to swim. So the structure as such now. Babies or like a child's rainbow journey will be starting from rainbow splashes, then goes to rainbow academy, and then goes to aquatic, which is the Scott. And then once they are out from school, they go to the rainbow masters, which is the adult Scott training program. So so that was laid properly. So he really helped us with that. So I'm very thankful, and also the staff over here, they've been very, very kind towards us. Even the coaches.
So it helps with all the finance, administration.
So I don't have to worry about it. Because the admin part, if I also go to do that, then it's a bit too much. So they do the registration for everything, whereas I get to concentrate on the classes with her. And then it's all about working together as a team. I believe in teamwork, and I love when there's a good team to work around, and then it makes everyone happy. So what else?
So learning how to work as a team, which was there, I think, in you, because you always swimmers at a very early stage in life.
Yeah.
Other than that, of course, having some sort of business sense is obviously important.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I mean, we were in a very interesting conversation with them, and I think it's very helpful for all the parents out there with toddlers especially, to learn what sort of skills you should get them to learn at a young age in life. I think you will be contactable always once you start the classes again. So if anyone wants to get in touch and enroll their kids, those facilities are there. Can we talk a little about that, how they can register, social media channels or whatever?
So we are on Facebook,
Yeah.
Rainbow Splashes, and they can always contact her.
Yeah.
Or NCC directly and
so
enroll
get my
kids.
details. So mainly through me, so because I need to allocate them.
They will be put into a waiting list initially, and then as and when the slot gets vacant,
So I fill those slots. So they have to contact me basically, because per session I can only have 8 kids, so I don't want to overcrowd the class. So they contact me and they put them to the waiting list, and once a slot gets vacant, I fill them.
Alright, so that's how you can get in touch with Rainbow Splashes. So not to forget where we are coming from. This is something I should have mentioned at the outset of the segment, which I forgot, but let me take time for that. So all of us are coming from Musaeus College. That is where we studied. Although we were not in contact at school, we met after some time at a different stint. I met Methma. After that, I got to know Harshinie. So that is how we were able to bring them into this conversation to inspire me. So they've learned quite a lot about swimming, about life skills, which they shared with you in this segment. And if you get your kids to join with them, I'm sure they will pass this life skills and this sort of thinking to your kids as well. So I hope the conversation was very helpful in those angles to you. Stay tuned and subscribe to Inspire Me YouTube channel and hit the bell icon as well. So every time we have a conversation like this, you will be notified then and there. Follow Inspire Me on Instagram and Facebook at inspireme.ceylon. Even the Rainbow Splashers social media networks will be mentioned below this video. Please go and explore further. So yeah, that brings us to the closure of this interview. Thank you so much, Harshinie.
Thank you
Methma.
for having us. So I think interviewed quite a few entrepreneurs. I don't consider myself as an entrepreneur because I'm not into business stuff. But then I've seen a lot of ladies, and it's very, very encouraging.
Inspiring.
It's very inspiring, indeed. Yeah, and then you're doing a superb job, amazing job. So all the very best to you, and then hope you get to continue. And I think I've told you this before. I want to see you doing a TV show, eventually, like Oprah.
You're rooting
whatever.
for it.
Yes. So if there's any help that you need, we're happy to help in any way we can. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So wish you a happy new year as well to both of you and to Rainbow Splashers, and wish you a happy new year everyone out there. Our greetings, blessings, wishes are always with you. So stay tuned. Let's meet with a brand new episode. Bye.